there are no gatekeepers or what we call the institutional structures around an open corporation. There is, but that structure is there just to maintain the corporate structure. But an open corporation, or if Google was an open corporation, it would mean that any developer would be able to participate on a Google project. You know, let's say if I wanted to code or be involved in coding, Gmail. Now, you may be thinking, oh, we already have that. It's called open software. Well, open software is kind of like the extreme. And if you think of the in-between of an open software and an open corporation, what it is kind of like providing the structure of the open software environment, but in a somewhat closed or controlled environment. And ultimately having a framework for it all to work. Now, I call that framework the Open Incubator Framework, or OIF for short. And I have lots of talks that you can listen to, and and I'm also writing a book on it called the Open Incubator and its Foundup. So a Foundup ultimately is a strategic initiative that seeks to become an independent project. Now, an open corporation basically opens its doors to everyone to participate. So Foundup, for example, if you want to be involved with Foundups Corp, you can do so. All you need to do is sign an NDA, all right, and you're part of the team. Now, open corporations do some very interesting things. One is we don't pay people in the traditional way with monetary from banks and other things. We actually are creating our own monetary system called the Foundup dollar. And the Foundup dollar is going to basically tie into the Bitcoin. So the timing of the Bitcoin is perfect for us. And I actually, to be honest with you, I didn't even know the Bitcoin existed 2 weeks ago. So the Foundup dollar is a way to compensate people in participating in an open corporation. Now, open corporations don't have employees, they don't have contractors or anything else. What open corporations have are moonlighters. So a moonlighter obviously is someone like yourself who maybe have a job, maybe work for Microsoft, maybe work for Google, maybe work for IBM, maybe you're at the top, maybe you're mid-level and you feel like, you know what, this is boring. You know, I come in, I do my thing, I get my nice 6 figures, and but there's no excitement in my life. I wish I could be involved in some exciting projects that ultimately it could become my project, but I don't want to do that because I have a family, I have a wife, I can't afford the risk. And if you've done anything with startups, you know that startups fail 97% of the time from the idea stage. Now, what I am proposing, or what I have developed, okay, or invented, so to speak, over the last year is the framework for open corporations. And ultimately, what we're doing is making this framework accessible to anyone. Now, like I said, I'm writing a book which will outline and describe this framework and how it works. We're also actually developing the platform called Foundups.com, or the Foundups Mall, where a lot of the needed tools that are missing right now will be there. So I invite you to check out the opening chapter of my book called The Open Incubator and its Foundup, and you can read a little bit about what the Open Corp is and how it works. And I hope that you will consider making a contribution. And basically your contribution, what it's going to do is actually give you times 20 of your contribution in Foundup dollars. So if you make a $25 contribution, you're going to get $500 credited to your Foundups.com account. And not only that, you're going to get a copy of my book for free. So my name is Michael Trout. I am pioneering a very exciting and new way to approach companies. A little bit about the open corporation. We will have, all open corporations will be ISO 26000 compliant, plus more. I believe those compliance fall short. They fall short in the sense of transparency. There's nothing in there about transparency, and there's also nothing in there about controls for financial governance. And for example, like an open corporation is going to mandate that between 20 to 80% of its net profits will go to social causes. That is mandated by the employees, okay, by a majority vote. So employees will be able to say where they want their net profits to do. Something else that open corporations will be. Open corporations will, CXOs, chief executives, will have to get a vote of confidence, their board and their CXOs, every 5 or 10 years. Again, defined by the employees. Ultimately, the employees is the reason why a corporation succeeds. Now, obviously, it has to have strong leadership and good leadership, but ultimately, it's the employees that do the heavy lifting. All open corps are employee-owned, businesses, and for the most part, there could be an open corp as a nonprofit open corp. Imagine if you had full transparency of Blue Cross Blue Shield, or full transparency on United Way, which we don't have. Imagine if United Way or Red Cross employees and stakeholders, people who give donations, actually their votes mattered in a vote of confidence for their leadership. Imagine, not having companies and other organizations that pay their executives these exorbitant sums. Imagine that coming to an end. And instead of them making, $3-5 million a year, they make, $800,000, $900,000, and everyone else as part of the company makes, 6 figures or, 5 figures, 6 figures, as a salary as a result. Open Corps is about being fair and equitable. I write a blog, mtrout.com, which is be good. So the whole vision that I have with the open corporation is to be good to the stakeholders, be good to the employees, be good to the environment. Open corporations are sustainable, and that's most important. So I hope that this video, I hope you'll share this video, and I hope that you will, visit mtrout.com or foundups.org, foundups.com, foundupsblog.com, and I hope that you will, make a contribution and help me bring about the open corp. And I hate to be, there's all this crap with the whole Mayan calendar, and I'm going to end with this. So if you're kind of the superstitious kind, because most people are, I mean, they may deny it, right? But most people are kind of superstitious. Now, I'm a very proactive and optimistic sort of guy. Now, what if the Mayan calendar, and I know people like shaking their heads like, Mike, why are you saying this crap? Okay, all right, what if, all right? There's some truth with the Mayan calendar, but not what people think. And that truth is this, is that the Mayan calendar represents the age of monarchy, all right? The age of the institution. And what if the end of that age is December next year, and the open corporation, the collaborative age is coming. The age of sustainability, the age of equality, the age of open and transparency. To me, that's what the Mayan calendar means. It's coming. And my goal, I'll tell you right now, is that I want to have 10,000 open corporations by next year. 10,000 open corporations. And if we had 10,000 open corporations that are fair and equitable to their employees, that are transparent, so there's none of this crap and stealing and bullshit that we see going on with our banks and everything else, our institutions, our private institutions, the Enrons and everything else. There is no transparency, and that's why they could get away with crap. And that we can actually mitigate risk and involve people to be involved as a collaborative or community in doing good, then the open corporation could signify a new age. And I hope that you'll help me bring it about. So, make a contribution, $25. Invest in at foundups.com, right? Invest in at foundups.com. That's the email on PayPal. So if you want to make a $25, $100, $1,000 contribution, you will get times 20 in Foundup dollars that then you can use as part of a game where you can play in our fantasy stock and a lot of other things that we're developing, and have a lot of fun. So a lot of things that's going on with Bitcoin is what we're doing, and we're going to tie into that in a very interesting way.